Go inside. Go inside. No! 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 Ah! Oh! Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, God! Ah! Oh, my God. Oh! Oh!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another day of the RSL. I am Gemini, and joining here is, of course, Sturgeon, the British goat himself. Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, mate. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Very nice of you. Yeah, we're getting deep into the bracket here. I think we're in now upper bracket semis.
Yep.
Where it starts to get serious. We've got some great games lined up. What more could you ask for, man?
Yeah, man. It's going to be 2 excellent TVPs for today. Yesterday, we had some pretty interesting ones as well. If you didn't catch them just yet, they're, of course, on the YouTube. But if you're a bit spoiler, sensitive, well, too bad. We actually just switched it right to the bracket. So, oh well. But here's what happened yesterday. It was Raynor versus Shin with a really dominant 3-0 coming out from Raynor with a very couple interesting games. One of them even including a completely botched proxy hatchery into a ninja base that ended up actually winning, which was just absolutely ridiculous. And then Trigger Beyond, also crazy. Also featuring a hidden base. It was hidden base day yesterday.
Hidden base day. What did you get, Gemini?
I got a couple of hidden bases.
Did you get anything under your pillow?
No, you got to open up your stocking to find the hidden CC or whatever to see if it's hiding in there.
Yeah, the games are awesome. That game 2, by the way, between Raynor and Shin was so good. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out. It was kind of funny to see Raynor kind of botch the spine crawler thing, but the way he brought it back was amazing. Yeah. So really cool series. We do have 2 TVPs here today, featuring some of the top players. Probably, you would think one of these guys is going to go on to win this potentially. You got Classic, who's in amazing form. Cure also in top form as well, but you can never count out Maru. Just some great players.
Yes, and then Zoun as well.
Oh yeah, and Zoun.
Who is
Zoun is
good
also he's also very good at the video
sometimes
game.
He's not bad. Anyways, this is the schedule, of course. We are in the final day of the second week of the second season, and then we're going to be coming back on Thursday, and then 4 days straight to round everything out. It's going to be the champion crowned on next Sunday, 1 week from today. Will be absolutely sick. And of course, we've got our awesome roadmap with 3 seasons, our 3rd season coming up a little bit later this year, and then the super sick offline finals that we're going to be having live in Korea, where we will be there, the players will be there, you at home. You can be there. If you get on a flight and get the heck over here, you can actually be here in person. It'll be so super sick.
Gemini will sign your mouse pad. Just get over here, guys.
Sign whatever you want. Yeah. Whatever you want. Go
Body
ahead.
parts, mouse pads.
Put it in front of me. Give me a pen. I'll sign it. No problemo.
Yeah, absolutely. And our official sponsor for the RSL is Archon Studio, the premier tabletop miniatures game studio. Check them out, guys. They have a whole variety of games. Not just StarCraft, but there is a StarCraft game coming out. It will be available for pre-order, I believe, at the end of the year. So I highly recommend you check them out. They are our official partner. Thank you so much to Archon Studio.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see that. And I'm super excited to see you join our Patreon if you would love to do so. This is the current state of the scene where we're, of course, trying to crowdfund the tournaments now with the developer support not really being there too much anymore. But it would be so sick if you guys could join us. Lots of players, lots of people. I assume they play as well.
They probably play the game.
Yeah, it's
sometimes
likely assumption. But, lots of people have been signing up lately, so we've been super happy to see that. It's been super sick, of course. So plenty of things to get from this. If you want replays being dropped every week, you can vote in players for the next season, vote in new maps for the next season. The maps this season have already been super sick as well. So I'm calling everything super sick, dude.
It's
everything
all super
is sick.
Yeah. The Patreon has been popping off, and you know what else is popping off? If you wear some RSL merch. Patreon supporters, of course, get 20% discount. You got your hoodies, you got your mugs, your RSL t-shirts, the pins. There's a whole array of stuff that you can check out on tastelessthreads.com.
Yes, I like the shirt myself. It's quite cozy. It would also be very cozy if you could join us on YouTube.
Dude, the segues today are so smooth.
Top-notch already. This is excellent. Yeah, follow us on YouTube, of course. Drop a like, drop a comment. Tell us how cool we are or how not cool we are. That's totally fine, too, if you want to voice that opinion. But it would be preferable if you told us that we're cool. But yeah, no, help us with the algorithm, of course. We would just love to get these videos to everybody, as lots of people do consume their StarCraft from YouTube. So it would be super sick if you could do that. As the Super Six just get thrown out. We're going to be going into our first game, which is also super sick.
It's all super sick. It's going to be ley lines. I cannot wait to get this started here, guys. We've got Cure, the monster, Terran player in the top right in blue, and in the bottom left, it is Vitality's Zoun. Ooh, yes. What are you feeling here for game number 1, Gemini? Who have you got in this series? Talk to me.
I actually feel like Cure has been looking extremely good in this season so far, and I would not be surprised to see him continue that dominance. I think Zoun overall is pretty satisfied with having a TVP right now. I think overall he's been doing pretty well in the matchup as well. But to be fair, a lot of Protosses kind of have been doing that lately. But I would say that Cure's performance has been extremely dominant. I mean, the way he dispatched of the last couple players that he was playing against was very clearly showing that he was not messing around, essentially, in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I think Cure is slightly favored in this matchup against Zoun as well. I think it's like 60% or something in his favor. So slightly winning record. Nothing too one-sided. I think this will be a competitive series. And the question on my mind is today, in this series and today in general, how much mech are we going to see? Like recently, the Terran players have been bringing it back, right? And it's been looking really strong.
Yeah, and the two players that we are having today are the two that did bring it in the earlier stages of the tournament as well. So yeah, I mean, Cure had excellent success against it, or with it against Creator. Can't talk right now, man. It's the first game of the day.
It's the first game, dude.
What is happening? No, he did really well against Creator, and so I mean, Zoun obviously must have looked at that. He probably saw that was a possibility coming out of Creator, but Cure. Dang it! What the heck? We got a factory reset right now, as there is a factory on the production tab for Cure.
There you go. And yeah, like you said, we are seeing more mech these days. It's kind of something that fell out of fashion for a long time. There were a few Terrans trying to make it work, but it hasn't been kind of the standard or meta. But we did see it recently in RSL. I think once the Protosses get a bit more time to get used to it again and kind of prepare some specific counters and stuff like that, it might be more easy to deal with, but we'll have to see. Right now, this Reaper just going to pop into the main, take a hit from the Adept, just see what's going on, get a little scout off, not even going to go too deep. He knows the Stalker's on the way, of course, being chronoed out. You do not want to lose that Reaper.
Yeah, losing it off before you get any full re-scout or anything is a bit rough. You don't want to just send it in the first time and then just lose it. So we'll keep it here for now, but unfortunately it does get caught by the Stalker. We'll push it away even further. And the Adept is in the natural as well before the CC is finished.
Wow.
And so that means that SCV will get killed off. We did have that chronoed out extremely quickly and getting sent right across the map. And it seems like Cure was a little bit greedy on his opening in general and didn't have any Marine or anything to help guard this. And a second SCV, wow, actually not dying right there. Very surprised to see, but nice micro overall. But still, a good delay with the initial Adept is what you always want to see as a Protoss.
Yeah, that's still good for him. I think if he got it again, that would have been insane, like how much he would have delayed the CC. Luckily, that Cyclone is able to shut that down. The follow-up here is going to be a Widow Mine. We'll probably be going into a Widow Mine drop. That is what Terrans like to do these days. And he's going to pressure the front with this Cyclone, see if he can get a lock on the Adept. There is a shield battery, so not going to be able to actually not even do any damage. So yeah, Zoun setting up nicely here to go into the mid game. He's got his Blink on the way. He's got his Robo. It's looking like fairly standard stuff right now.
Yep, he should be feeling pretty good going into the mid-game for now. Knows that there's not really too much crazy stuff going on. As long as this Widow Mine drop doesn't actually do anything significant, he will be feeling quite comfortable. He will, of course, need to know that this Cloak Banshee is going to be coming up afterwards as well, but looks like he's going to be going into a 4-gate Blink aggression. So that is still going to give him a lot of opportunity after this Widow Mine drop is defended to go across the map and potentially cause some great damage himself. So let's see if this Widow Mine drop actually ends up doing anything. Looks like Zoun is perfectly well prepared and shouldn't really lose anything whatsoever here, except for a probe or two.
Wow, the defense is so good from Zoun. He had the 3 Stalkers ready, detonates the Widow Mine on just 1 probe each. That's optimal. That's the best you can get. The medevac does get out of there, but yeah, very good defense here from Zoun. Good start to this game. The follow-up is going to be Cloak Banshees, so Cure will have another chance to get some more damage done, trying to hurt the economy of Zoun. But he's getting his Warp Prism. He's going to be moving across the map soon. He's going to be trying to pressure the Terran a little bit before he can move out.
Yeah, let's see how much this is actually able to do, because I feel like just looking at the overall building setup as well from Cure, he didn't really do that thing where a lot of Terrans wall off on the side of the the cliff here to make it more difficult. He's like kind of trying to do it a little bit now, but that will allow Zoun a good amount of surface area in the main base to blink up if he so wants. And there is a second tank that I think just spawned out. So yeah, that should be going in the main base. So that will help it a lot. And look at that. He's even repositioning at this point, knowing what's going to be coming his way and trying to account for that. But it looks like Zoun just going to go right into the natural. Love that Adept getting in to deny the tank shot going onto the tanks as well. The Widow Mine drop in the main base killed off. The double Banshee is the only thing at this point that should be keeping Cure in this game right now, as there is no observer on the front until just now.
I love that snap decision there to jump in, get that tank, get as much damage as you can, make the SCVs will be pulled. Like you say, now he does have detection, so he will have a way to shoot these Banshees, which are still cloaked, going to be draining their energy. And he's just going to try and pick off whatever he can here. Actually,
attacking his own starport there, and not the correct play Cure, but that's okay. We all do that every now and then. But it's going to be quite difficult, I think, for Zoun to actually get into this main base. But this is really annoying here because this tank is not quite close enough. Since he did kill the first one, he has to leave it in a position that can account for both spots. Now we do have 2 out again, so that should allow him to be a little bit more careful with that. But another blink in right then onto those Banshees, and the tank will be able to kill off the tank. Unfortunately, that Banshee will still stay alive, but the Cyclone does fall. And without any upgrades, these Marines are also getting killed off extremely quickly, forcing the SCVs to be pulled in this, and so many of them already getting killed off. This is an excellent attack from Zoun.
Yeah, absolutely devastating. Picking off so many SCVs, 16 going down. I love the way he split the army into the main, left nothing to defend the natural. Zoun sees that, just jumps in, gets that tank, gets the damage, and GG is called. What a dominant game 1.
Yeah, that was just easy as can be from Zoun. Like, that wasn't even close whatsoever. The initial harassment with just the Reaper and the Cyclone was nothing. The fact that he delayed the CC initially as well just kind of altered Cure's build, a little, like delayed his build. A pretty significant amount, to be honest. Whenever it's not normal to get that SCV anymore. Like a while ago, it was kind of normal that this would be happening a lot. This is like, maybe 5 years ago, where this is like happening a lot, where like Protosses would always try to send the Adept across to try and get that perfect timing to deny the SCV, but patches have changed and whatnot, and so that doesn't really happen anymore. So the fact that he did get it is quite surprising, and almost getting the second was super crazy. But yeah, honestly, just incredible defense and just a very clean, decisive attack that just really just swept Cure off his feet, basically.
Yeah, and he wasn't all in by any means. He had the third Nexus behind that, so he can transition, get his 3 base up, get his Storm going, go into that kind of mid-game if he doesn't get enough damage. But that's about as good as you can ask for a game 1 for Zoun. That's, pretty straightforward victory, just able to make it happen with the Stalker numbers. But I feel like the control was really good, and the decision-making as well. Like, knowing that he pulled everything to the main, and going, okay, all your units are here. I guess you have nothing to the natural, right? I'm going to jump in on the tank. He knows he can get away with that. And once the tanks fall, that's kind of the anchor of the defense, right? If you don't have those dealing the splash damage on Stalkers, they kind of just kill everything else.
Yeah. No, you need the tanks as the anchor points. Without that, you're just totally hopeless as a Terran. Since you're going for such a high-tech build, going for the 1-1-1, the stim is much later, of course, than if you were opening 3 racks or something like that, so there's just no way that you can really defend unless you have all those tanks at those points. But that was the last game, of course, and now we're going to be going into game number 2 on Ultra Love here. We'll see if Cure can rally back a little bit and not make this an 0-3 or anything.
Yeah, that was such a textbook game from Zoun. The defense of the Widowmine drop was so good. He basically took no damage. Only 2 probes going down, which is the minimum, basically. They're always going to get, a probe or 2. And then, yeah, just delaying that CC for so long has such a big impact. They can't make SCVs as early as they want to. It slows down their economy. The Banshees he made didn't even get to do any harassment.
Yeah, no.
Normally you're killing probes with those.
They just had to stay home.
Right, and that's not what you want your Banshees to be doing, but what else can you do when Zoun is being so aggressive there with the blink? Game number 2 is going to be on Ultra Love here. Do you think the same strategy is going to work as well here?
I don't know if he's going to do the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if he just goes for 4-gate blink again, but does it in a way that's not meant to try and just kill him right away, because I feel like Cure, this game at least, will try to do something that's a little bit, more overall defensive, maybe just going for a solid Raven opener after the 1-1-1 instead, with much faster tanks instead of going for the Cloak and stuff like that. Ravens generally can be pretty good on the defense with the auto turrets, and they can also still throw out some on the other side of the map too if you want to. So a generally versatile opener from a Terran player. Wouldn't be surprised maybe if he tries to go into something more like that a little bit. Does go for a reactor onto the barracks as well after the singular Marine. So there's still a couple of varieties of things you can go for with this type of style. So we'll see what Cure really wants to go before we dive too deep into it. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised overall if we have a slightly similar. Oh wait! Oh my God! I didn't even notice.
Adepts.
I was yapping. I didn't even notice.
Yapping, dude. Meanwhile, we have 2 Adepts coming out. So this is going to have even more aggressive potential. Possibly, we're going to see him move those across the map. As Cure, you don't want to get your CC delayed again. You want to get into a kind of normal mid game where you get to be the aggressor at some point, right? Like that's what Terrans like to do. They like to push out on the map, and you try and slow them down as the Protoss. Right now, we do see the Adepts leaving, and Cure, does he have a bunker here? He does not have a bunker.
He's skipping it.
Wow.
So, okay. So, Zoun did this earlier in the season against one of the Terran players that he played against. I think it was Gumiho. I can't remember exactly, but he did go for this, and it was very strange because it didn't seem like it really did anything. And again, I'll point out that he's doing it in a way that makes it look like this is just a single Adept over for now, but then he reveals the second one, split firing those shots absolutely perfectly, and then moves the weakened Adept out. That was unbelievably perfect control by Zoun on that initial opener. And now this is going to be so awkward because you can't really get down this ramp reasonably, and then there's going to be, assuming Stalkers coming and reinforcing this. Yes, there is one walking down the middle of the map here, so it's going to be very difficult to actually get down here. A Cyclone is going to have to be made to be able to defend against this, and this is doing much better than it did last time he showed this, because last time there was a bunker.
Right.
But this time it seems like he's actually just able to take full control of the natural.
Yeah, being a little bit greedier, skipping that bunker. It does make you more susceptible to these kind of things. Right now, he can't make SCVs from the natural because they'll just die, obviously. But once this Cyclone comes out, he should be able to push this back. Already started up the SCV now because he knows the Cyclone is finishing. But this is already some nice damage here for Zoun, like a very nice early game.
Yeah, no, this is delaying Cure completely. He just cannot mine from this natural. Eventually, like you said, once the Cyclone comes out, then you have full rain to go down. But Zoun is going to try to overstay this and actually kill the Cyclone attempt. I mean, he will, but trading all of those units for that is, that doesn't really feel correct, in my opinion. I feel like suiciding the Adepts, I think, would have been an okay play.
Right.
Going full on with the Stalkers was a little bit much, in my opinion, but you know, Zoun's the pro player. I am not, so we'll see if he's able to recover from that type of a move. Looks like he's actually missing the move now, and the drop is already in his base.
That's in his main base. The Stalker's going through the middle of the map. Don't see it. He has only 2 at home right now, so he's got to control his Stalkers really well here. Try to pick off the Marines before they get healed. They do get to the middle line, going to start to pick off these probes. Okay, he gets 2. It's not bad. He does get out with all his medevac intact. These Stalkers were coming back, so I like that decision. But you got to go back to Zoun, right? If he'd just retreated after he got all that damage done, he would be in an amazing spot right now. But as it stands, Kira's back in this game.
Yeah, the 2 probe kills is actually kind of significant at this point, considering how low the probe count is. You do have to cut a little bit to be able to do this build. I haven't studied it perfectly because, again, it's a totally new random build that Zoun is doing, but I believe you do need to cut some probes to be able to get this out. So to lose just even a few here is not what you want, considering you're going into this game assuming you're going to have full tempo control by going for that early aggression. You're not expecting to suddenly have a couple probes being killed off here and there.
Right, he does have the 3rd Nexus coming down behind this, so he will be able to catch up in the probe count, and it's actually going to be Charge coming out here, and I think the Robo's finished as well. We're going to have an Observer come out, so he's going to be going into a lot of Zealots. Do you think this is kind of a response to the mech play we've been seeing recently? Like maybe you want to get ready for that, maybe you want to get your Immortals out from the Robo, just having the option at least, you know? Obviously it's very normal to get Charge in this matchup, but yeah, it is a nice thing to have. These Stalkers at the front right now just going to try and see when the Terran does move out. 1 Marine over here scouts the 3rd base. That's good to know. You do want to know the timing on that, but we'll get cleared up by this Zealot. And now we're going to see what Keel wants to go for. He's got Stim on the way, 2 more orders at a time coming out. He's going to have a lot of map presence here soon.
Yeah, this is just kind of getting rounded out here from Zoun, of course, getting the blink immediately with his Twilight to be able to, have full mobility and map control, and then going into the charge, and then he's going to be favoring that fast Storm play, which has become so popular in the recent months here. Looks like the Observer will be pushed away just a little bit by that Raven. Doesn't want to go too deep, and lose it would be, of course, bad. Going for a fast Prism as well is actually quite interesting. Might actually just rally that across and get 4 Zealots in there to do a backstab whenever Cure does move out with this eventual Tank Marine Raven push. We'll see if he's actually able to get that in time, because I feel like the Prism, it'll be getting there basically like within seconds of this push actually getting across the map. It'll be very close.
Yeah, we do have +1 attack on the way as well for Cure, so this attack is going to hit very hard. Nice marker there, pulls back the Stalkers, doesn't lose any. And I always get a bit nervous when the pros... the Raven's at the front, attack moved, but he doesn't go down. Okay, that's very fortunate for Cure. You do not want to lose that expensive unit. And here comes the push now. We have 2 tanks there. We have a Raven. Combat Shields is not on the way. We have Stim just finishing up now. Concussive shells as well. Okay, he sees it. He knows what's coming, but does he have enough to defend here?
Yeah, Storm is very close to finishing. It's going to finish just in time for this push. How many Templar does he have? He's actually kept the Prism home as well to juggle the Templar and potentially get a dive. What was that? Blink forward. Possibly a misclick, because that is not what you want your Stalkers to be doing. Forced to use 1 Storm already on just a few bio units on the ramp. Not what you want so far from Zoun. This position is extremely oppressive from Cure. It's very difficult to get a nice surround. You can see Zoun's even moving his army on the minimap fully around to try and get some sort of engagement that would actually be favorable for him, as he just buys a little bit more time to get a few more Warpins, get his Templar in position, and now he's going to go for it, but the Prism getting killed by a Widowmine and the Marines. 0 Storms going off, and Cure with an immaculate push.
This is insane. The Prism going down is it might just be the end of the game. You need those Storms to be able to hold this push. The flank was a nice idea, but the Siege Tank's so oppressive on that high ground there. The Bio stims in. Only a few units warp in here. This is not enough, basically. There's just so much Terran on the map right now, and I think Zoun is looking pretty dead here in game number 2. GG gets called. We are all even. 1-1 right now.
That was so clutch on the Prism snipe.
Yeah.
That was so perfect. The mine was very sneakily kind of disguised underneath the tank. You can't see them when the tank is sieged right next to them, or even like directly on top of them, basically. And so, yeah, Zoun had no idea that was there. It was honestly just a little bit too late. But it's actually very critical as well, though, that Cure, along with the Widowmine, picks at least a couple Marines to focus fire down the Prism as well, because 1 Widowmine does not kill a Prism. So the fact that he realized what was happening despite everything and still took a few units to target fire the Prism with the Widowmine shot, extremely clutch. That honestly just saved the game for him and literally won the game for him, because if any of those Storms get off, that hold is much easier for Zoun.
Yeah, those Storms can be they just do so much damage, obviously, if you get a good one off on the Bio army. I really like the position of the tanks, though, on that high ground. They cover the whole natural ramp, so it's like really difficult to actually move units out. So that's why we saw him send the flank around. Obviously, you want to flank the Terran army anyway, but it was really hard for him to kind of get his units into position, and I feel like he was managing everything. And that's why he sent the Warp Prism in and maybe didn't pay enough attention to it. It goes down with it, all the High Templar and Zoun's chance at taking that game.
Yes, a bit brutal for him, but it is a 1-1 series, which is super sick. And you know what else would be super sick? As this is just the theme of today. Everything is sick. Oh, joining our Patreon. Come on, guys. It would be so great if you could join us over on Patreon. We got replays, we got merch discounts, we've got a podcast with exclusive behind the scenes chats between all of us that you can look at. You can vote for players, you can vote for maps.
We have a Discord, which I just found out about.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Gemini was like, oh yeah, this is cool. I was like, wait,
there's like people in there like saying like, oh, I love Surgeon, his casting's so good. I was like, hey dude, look, there's like, you got like some nice like comments in the Discord, and he's like, the Discord? What Discord are you talking about?
I have no idea, guys, but I am in there now. It is all popping off. There are a lot of people signing up these days. It's great to see you guys come out and support StarCraft 2. Keep this game alive. Keep things going here. Thank you so much to everyone who signed up so far, and we look forward to seeing more of you in the future. It is 1-1. We have a good series on our hands here. Game number 1, I feel like that shouldn't happen like that, the way it did. It was like too easy almost. But I feel like now is when it's going to start to get tough for both players. Cure looks more warmed up. I like his build choice in number 2, taking the fight to Zoun. I think that's what he excels in, is kind of his methodical pushes, nailing his build, executing it a million times. I'm excited to see what we're going to see here in game number 3.
Yep, we'll be doing that game number 3 after a short break, so don't go anywhere. More RSL to continue.
my God, he's hiding and waiting in there? He waits in the room? Oh my God.
Welcome back, everybody, to the RSL. We're in the upper bracket semi-finals, our first one of the day. 2 best-of-5s happening. We are midway through Cure versus Zoun. Currently 1-1. A couple kind of very quick, decisive games, both of them. One of them being just a 4-gate blink that just straight up killed Cure, and the other basically just being a tank marine or tank bio Raven push that killed Zoun. So a tit for tat here so far in the opening series. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more macro-oriented stuff in the next couple games, but yeah. Curious to see what happens. Yeah,
I'd love to see a long macro game where both these guys are tested. You know, if they can go for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I want to see some harass, that kind of stuff. They've been very decisive, as you say. We are now essentially in a best of 3 from this point onwards. Obviously, they've played 2 games already. They've used some strategies, so they may have to dig deep and bring out some others. Hopefully, you'll see a bit more variety and some longer games here as we do get loaded into game number 3 here in just a moment. Is going to be Cure versus Zoun. The map is Maganatha. The map that I can say.
You can say that one?
I can say this one, yeah. It's a pretty reasonable map name. I can say that. I don't know what it means, but I can say it.
Oh, you don't want to know what it means?
Why? What's the law?
Sorry, I'm not. I'm actually not doing it. Okay, I'll tell you later.
Let's not go there. Anyway, this is game number 3.
Magnath is a person in the community. He's an Egyptian caster, but there's more to it that you don't.
The law.
I'll tell you later.
The scrolls.
Anyways, regardless, yes, Maganatha is the map. And it looks like Cure is going to be setting out an early SCV. Likely is going to be a eBay block, looks like it. Not actually going to be going for any... Actually, it could be a proxied second Rax. That actually could be kind of a possibility, but I feel like it's just going to be an eBay block. I think they are actually still pretty good. Oh, is it the second proxy Rax? Am I so smart?
Oh, you are so smart, Gemini. No, it's an eBay block. This is nice, though. Throw off the Protoss, get them off their rhythm. You got to get it down in time, though. Okay, he does. Oh, yeah, doesn't have the minerals yet, of course. I feel like Zoun was actually ready for this. He's brought his probe down already. 3 more going to come down, start to chip away at this eBay. Try and get the Nexus down as quick as possible. 4's a good number. And this is just a little bit annoying to deal with, but nothing too unexpected. You know, he'll have a planned response for this. He'll know all the follow-ups. Just got to cancel this at the last second. Who was it the other day that didn't cancel? I think it was Classic, didn't cancel a pylon or something in a PvP. And I was like, oh! But he does cancel this one just in time. Going to be going into his Nexus here. On the back of this, we have a factory. And yeah, pretty normal follow-ups here.
Yeah, the eBay block, it's sometimes very annoying as a Protoss because some of them just don't send a probe down right away. They just kind of do one of the later 20 Nexus or maybe even a Nexus after Cybercore. If you do that, then you're going to be seeing that eBay very late. Zoun, though, sending one of his probes a little bit earlier just to anticipate that potential. And if you do see it when it basically comes right down, then that allows you to go for the probe response, which is what Zoun did. He pulls 4 probes, and that can kill it off in a decent amount of time, and where it's really just kind of just an even split. Like you lose a little. Sorry, excuse me. You lose a little bit of income, but of course the Terran player loses some because they have to cancel the building. So it basically ends up being completely even.
Yeah, you don't want to let that eBay get to too high HP, right? And then it becomes like a whole task to take it down. Really, really good response from Zoun. You couldn't have been any quicker, basically. Perfect timing on that probe. That's nice to see. It's actually going to be a Hellion build this game, Gemini. And on the side of Zoun, we have a Sentry coming out. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to see if Cure can get some aggression done here, get some probe damage. We do have the Hallucinate come out. I feel like this is lined up nicely for Zoun because he's going to be able to see what's going on.
Yeah, the question is if the Hallucination will actually cross paths with the Hellions. On this map particularly, you have to be a little careful where you send it if you want to actually see where those are going, if they send them really early, because the way that the movement is, they just kind of dodge each other if you just send the Hallucinated Phoenix right across. But looks like Zoun is just going to be able to see everything anyways. Doesn't quite see that oh, he does see one Hellion pop out, so he does know that it's going to be Hellion. So didn't see those on the map, but does see that one, which is going to give him all the information he could need. Should be prepared back at home to deal with this. We'll see if the wall is going to be set up once we get a shot over that. There's something in the wall there with a couple units waiting in position as well with the Sentry. So yeah, he should be able to be perfectly fine against this.
Yeah, if you see that reactor on the factory and a Hellion, that's basically all you need to know, right? It's not the Reaper Hellion aggression that we do sometimes see. It's going to be a lot of Hellions here. There is a medevac coming out, so he'll have the potential to drop those in the main. As you said, Zoun does have that nice wall at the front, which he can completely plug with a unit. In that case, you do need a way to be able to get into the main. And it's going to be a Banshee with Cloak follow-up here. So Cure really looking to be aggressive here in game number 3.
Yeah, this is a very interesting build. You don't normally actually see this from Terran players, going for a 4 Hellion opener into a Hellion drop into Cloak Banshees. That's a lot of aggression very quickly. The Scout's going to come out for Zoun on the Cloak Banshee, but I do not think he's at all prepared for a drop with the Hellions. This is not something you normally see. Normally it's like a proxied Hellion drop or something like that, heading much earlier. This one comes at a very awkward timing, but very nice reaction and excellent force field as well to block on that wall. That's absolutely wonderful. Pulling the probes away, losing a Hellion even on the back end. That was a clinical defense from Zoun.
Yeah, very interesting choice to drop the natural. Like normally you think, oh,
yeah,
if the units are there, you want to drop in the main. But there might be units in the main. He does choose to drop in the natural. Beautiful response from Zoun, though. Running all... Dude, I'm so scared to run the probes like that, where they all bunch up.
Yeah,
because you can just lose the game, right? But the force field was clutch. He had all his units in the right place, and he actually took no losses there.
Yeah, that was literally perfect from him. Of course, coming from the bottom, it's hard to boost into the main because it's envisioned for so long. But yeah, it's interesting he didn't try from the top from the first place to do so. And it looks like we are going to be having the mech switch as well. So your question has been answered. It has been fulfilled. We will be getting mech, yeah. Meching it happen,
Meching it happen, boys. Love to see it. It's nice to see some kind of mix-ups, right? I think we all love Bio, and you'd probably like to watch Bio most games, but it's nice to see a change here. And I think the Terran players have been making this style look really strong. Obviously, the Cyclone, very good these days. He does have a Raven coming out as well. That's going to be useful. On the back of this, Zoun will have what he needs to deal with this. He's getting his charge. He's getting his Twilight. You would probably like to get some Immortals at some point, but the Archons as well can be very useful. I think he actually somehow knows that this is here. Oh yeah, he knows the medevac's there. But this is the real threat. The 2 Cloak Banshees are now coming down from this bottom left side. Going to be dying in here and trying to get some probes. I think he has a pylon there by the 3rd. He may see the shimmer if he's paying attention.
Yeah, I think he'll be pretty well prepared anyways. He does have an observer with those stalkers in the natural anyways, so those should be totally fine. Yeah, he sees it anyways. He knows what's coming. We'll be totally prepared for that. And he's got the stuff in the main base as well, so he's going to be prepared if that goes in at the same time. Doesn't even look like it's going to at this point, but yeah, realizing it's not going to probably do anything, yeah, Cure is just really forced away. This is just, again, perfect defense from Zoun. You generally want to try to get something done as a Terran player, but since Cure's going for mech anyways, and I don't know if it was scouted actually yet by Zoun, but I think he's got the right stuff to be able to deal with it anyways.
Actually able to get in the main here and get a full scout off of what is going on. He sees all the tech here. Very nice little move with the Hellion. Storm is on the way. We've actually seen Protoss players cancel Storm against mech when they've identified it. I'm not sure if he knows just yet, so he is going to let that finish. Sometimes they like to cancel it and use the gas to make a few more Archons. They can tank a ton of the siege shots if there are siege tanks. Right now it's more kind of Cyclone Hellion heavy. We do have the Robo as well, so we're going to need to see some Immortals coming out here soon. Right now, though, Cure is being aggressive. The Banshee's putting out a lot of damage onto that Stalker. It will just survive, and now Zoun knows. For sure.
Yes, interestingly enough, almost nothing has died this game, despite all the little pokes and prods, so very clean game so far. No losses either way. And yeah, you can see now a couple Archons getting morphed there from Zoun, making the realization that it is going to be mech, just keeping 2 of those Templar for the Storms that were already warped in, and now he's going to basically use the rest for that. And he's going to try to go for a big bust here. Stopping at 57 probes, going to try to end this game before Cure can get himself set up with this mech composition. Getting a couple more Zealots, a couple more Archons, just really rounding this out. His army supply is going to be quite high. I love this random eBay in the front to help choke up any of the Zealots and force them to attack that instead of the units. Here we go. Let's see if he can actually bust in.
The pre-split here on this Terran army is insane. The Storms will be hard to get damage. The Storm does go down all these Cyclones here. Zoun is moving in. Oh, massive Storm there on all the Hellbats. These Banshees will fall. Zoun looks like he might be making this happen here. The SCVs are pulled. Tons of units going down. Zoun in a fantastic position right now. Those Archons need to possibly join up with the rest of the army and get some shots off. There's so much damage. 23 SCVs go down, and a beautiful timing here from Zoun in game number 3.
Yeah, that was, again, just super clinical. Zoun, despite maybe scouting it a little bit later than maybe he would normally want, just still making the perfectly correct decision upon realizing what it is. Says, okay, I've taken no damage this game. Nothing's really happened at all.
Right.
Sure, I've gone for Storm, but if I just only make 2 Templars worth and then the rest are Archons and just keep going into all my Zealots, which I've already prepared anyways with all of my Gateways, I can still have a timing here. Realizes that, goes for the push, just perfect execution on it. The Storm's coming in with the Prism to get key storms onto the big juicy Hellbat Cyclone part of the army as well. You don't really want to waste the storms on the tanks, obviously, because they're going to be soaking up that damage much more, and they're not going to be clumped together or anything, but the Cyclones and the Hellions usually are all nice and clumped together, and Cure, despite having a nice pre-split at first, he couldn't really keep them split up once the Zealots all come in.
Yeah, once the fight starts, all the units just kind of tend to clump up anyway as you A-move them. You can't have units just on hold position, pre-split forever, right? You have to fight, and then the timing on the storms is really good. He didn't use them on like a few units in the beginning. He waited until they did clump up, got the big storms off. I really like the eBay, like you pointed out. If you just A-move with the Zealots and you waste your charge on that eBay, the fight becomes so much harder. But yeah, really nice control, and the defense for Zoun was what won that game for me. Like, not losing anything to the Hellion harass, not losing anything to the Banshee harass. That's very difficult. Like, it's so easy to lose a few probes here, a few probes there. Beautiful defense, and then he hits a killer timing. Before that mech arm, you can get to the kind of, you know, the mass that's just too strong to kill, right?
Yep. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people might watch that game and be like, God, Protoss is busted. But then, like, honestly, the defense that he had against the Hellions, against the dropped Hellions, against the Banshees, that's actually harder than it looks. Like, it's not easy to just let that have zero impact on your economy whatsoever. So yeah, just to lose absolutely nothing to all of that was just brilliant from Zoun, and really just skyrocketed him forward in the rest of that game. So very nicely done by him again. We're going to be on map number 4 here, which is Botanical, one of our newer maps voted in by the patrons. So yeah, I would love to see how this map plays out a little bit too. This one honestly looks pretty interesting. I just like the look of this map actually. It's
so many trees, so much foliage.
Yeah,
you know
botanical.
What I mean? Botanical, yeah. It's a nice kind of garden-y map. It's nice to mix up the scenery here. See these little trees and bushes outside the natural. No shenanigans coming out here. No eBay block or anything like that.
Well, the CC first, actually.
Yeah, the CC first. Ooh.
That is not something we normally see here from Terran players. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what Kira takes this in. what path he takes this in. I didn't.
Yeah, very curious. I see what you did there. Okay, Gemini.
What?
His name's Cure, and he's curious.
I didn't even notice I did that.
The unintentional pun.
I wish I was that smart.
Unintended, guys.
I wish I was that funny. Jesus.
Well, unintentionally you were, but yeah, CC first. I mean, if you get away with it, it's amazing for your economy, right? Zoun has been aggressive with the Adept and stuff. This makes one thing about this is you're not going to get your CC cancelled, right? An Adept can't get there fast enough to actually kill that.
You have to be really bad to let that CC get cancelled by a probe.
You make it like a minute late. The Adept finally comes over and kills it. But yeah, he is going to go for a bunker here. Your units are a little bit delayed with the CC first, obviously. This adds a little bit more of a safety net, so you don't take damage early. It is still going to be the Adept coming out from Zoun, and we'll have to see what he wants to do with that. And then the Twilight as the standard kind of follow-up here, but this is I
mean, he's going right into a factory afterwards, which feels very greedy to me.
Yeah.
I generally, when you see a CC first build in TVP, since you're so low on units for so long, a lot of Terran players just go for a straight 2 or 3 racks right afterwards, because you just need as many units as possible. Because if the Protoss just ramps up the aggression, you simply don't have enough. So the fact that he's going straight into a factory with a reactor on the barracks after only a single Marine as well, like, this is so greedy from Cure, I feel like. And I'm very curious what actually he goes for with this style, because obviously, you know, you just have so few units at this point. I feel like Zoun is probably just going to try to go for some kind of blink pressure. I'm not quite sure how. I feel like the clip on this map is not too bad. Actually, maybe it's a little too small to do any crazy 4-gate blink stuff, but I feel like Zoun is going to look at this and just try to go for some blink aggression.
Yeah, he definitely can. I think it might work out well. There is a full wall here at the natural, but you can, of course, get into the main, as you mentioned. We have a Cyclone coming out here, and his barracks is just finishing up now. We'll have to see how he's going to be able to deal with this aggression. How many gateways did we have here so far? We got a couple electric and
2.
Okay, he's adding on
There's
one more
third.
now. Yeah, that's the third one. The Robo as well, just to get that observer out, get the Warp Prism. And yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. Medevac coming out here. We don't have any Widow Mines or anything like that. Just a Cyclone at the moment. And Stim is on the way.
Yeah, it looks like Zoun's actually going to go for the straight to storm style. He's going for the double gas very quickly at the natural, so he's not going to be going for any sort of early blink, super crazy aggression. He might still get a prism from the Robo anyways. With this, I'm just kind of waiting to see. No, it is going to be an observer anyways. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this response from Zoun, because it feels like if you know you're going against CC first, you can do one of two things. You can either go super hard into the aggression and just try to break them, or you go super greed and you just kind of sit back and just get as much tech as possible. The fact that he's gone for 3 gateways still, despite all this, is a little bit interesting. I guess the third base is quicker with this. Normally, you don't get the third this fast with the Templar opener, so maybe that's the little corner that he's trying to cut here. Nice little scan to get the observers nice and just picks up the Cyclone. We'll be able to kill that. Focus Fire on the Sentry could be pretty good, too. Some decent trades overall, and then he can just kind of boost out. Oh, if he just loses the prison or the medevac, that'd be terrible. Okay, luckily he gets out.
Yeah, Blink is done. You got to be so careful. You do not want to lose this medevac. Stim is about 3/4 done here. This medevac's just going to hang out in the dead airspace. And Curious adding on more racks here. He's not getting a third base or anything like that just yet. I feel like he's going to hit an insanely strong time in here just before Storm comes out.
Yeah, I wonder if he actually can get here before Storm, because I mean, whenever you go for Storm for in these styles, it happens so quick. Like, it's actually so hard to get there before it is even finished. So I'm curious. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he actually will, because I don't think he just has the units right now. Like, Stim sure will be finishing, but he doesn't really have anything to attack with. That's the thing. Like I was saying, you don't have units when you go for CC first. He went for the super fast tech as the follow-up, so that means he gets a really fast Stim, sure, I guess, but it's like, you're gonna stim 6 Marines, and that's basically all. That's your thing.
Yeah, right. It is gonna be after the Storm here. So, okay, it is what it is. The tanks are coming out though. Combat Shields is on the way as well. Like we said though, there is no third base here for Cure, so he's gonna be super aggressive here when he does get the amount of units that he needs. This medevac just flying in and out, being annoying. See if he can pick off any probes. Okay, that's nice little damage there. 3 probes, maybe in a 4th for 2 Marines. I'll take that trade any day, and he's pulling the boys!
This is not what I was expecting. I mean, you go CC first into a boy pull, that's quite something. The fact that it's going to be against the Storm opener, with Storm finished as well. He knew Storm is here. He got feedbacked by a High Templar. He's not thinking that this is Colossus or something. He knows that this is a Storm opener. First one going down on the SCV is a decent pre-split, but there's no combat shield on these Marines either, so take note of that. A singular medevac here, a blink forward into double tank will kill one of them. A nice move from Zoun.
Yeah, there's so many SCVs here. They're actually going to go and fight the probes. Worker versus worker action here at the third. Oh, the Mineral Walk was sick. Gonna get this around on these probes. This is so good. Meanwhile, the blink does come in on these tanks. I don't feel like he has... Okay, with the Storm, that's such a big Storm on the Marines. Zoun jumping in here, going to pick off what he can. The second tank goes down. And Zoun looking to get a cleanup here. The SCVs are nowhere to be seen right now.
I mean,
they're still fighting those probes up at the third. I think they've all died. Oh, they're still alive. He really needed those in the fight.
Yeah, that's actually wild. He just sent them over to the third. It was like, go ahead, guys, try your best. And then he just didn't have them for the attack. He also didn't have that medevac with the Cyclone and a few extra Marines either. This is just flat on arrival. I mean, Cure, I don't know exactly what he was trying to go for here, knowing it was going to be a Storm opener. And the fact that all of the SCVs were off doing their own thing, I don't know. This just really did not work for Cure whatsoever.
Yeah, that was... I liked the decision in the beginning when he was killing the probes, because he had so many SCVs, right? Like, he got a decent amount, but he had to bring them back, because the Stalkers are going to blink in at some point, and you need those SCVs there to body block, get in the way, add a little bit of DPS, but, you know, and just be a meat shield as well, soak up some shots. But without them, the Protoss army just kind of ripped through all of that bio. The Storms were excellent, and, yeah, Zoun just in too much of a good position here. Kill forced to GG.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to try to go for a second try a little bit later because he did kind of keep some SCVs alive. He didn't have like 0 at home. He had
just
like
under
30 or so.
right? But once you send all those SCVs,
I mean, like,
if you don't get the damage you need, you're kind of cooked, right?
Yeah, no, I just felt it just looked like, yeah, he was like, oh, I'm going to do the Terran thing where I have mules and 30 SCVs. Like, I can technically go for round 2. But, yeah, I think you're realizing, like, 20 seconds later is like, screw this.
He could have just pulled the last 30 SCVs and tried it again. But, yeah, Cure's economy was nowhere near as good as Zoun's, obviously, after the failed attack. Zoun defends and is now up 2-1 in this series.
It is 2-1, right?
No, it's 3-1.
Is it 3-1?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 3-1.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
sorry.
so was I. Sorry, I said 2-1 and I
score.
was like, no, wait, Zoun won the last game. Yeah, so we are here 3-1. The first set of the day does go to Zoun. What a strong performance by him.
Yeah, no, that was just completely clinical. All of those games, completely clinical. It was just, game after game, very quick, no crazy long macro games or anything. Just each player just coming out with a very decisive attack, just going right on in. And honestly, I don't know, that was just kind of unexpected from Zoun. I wasn't actually expecting him to come out that hard. I thought that Cure would put up a bit more of a fight considering the fact that he did so well against Creator. I mean, Shin was a Zerg player, but still, he blasted Shin 3-0.
Right.
It felt like Cure was really on his game to just kind of go forward into the finals at this point. But yeah, Zoun really put it up to him.
Yeah, we talked about favorites, and I actually mentioned all the other players except Zoun. and then he ends up showing up looking so strong today.
That's
I was
so funny.
really impressed by his defense in this game. Defense makes championships, guys. Beautiful play from Zoun. Yeah, he will move on to the winners final, where he will play the winner of our next series, which is going to be Classic versus Maru.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited for that one. And I'm excited for you and to see you on our YouTube. I would love to see you commenting over there. Go ahead, take a look, go follow us, go subscribe, whatever it's called. We want to try and get the YouTube algorithm.
It's called subscribe.
Yeah. We want to get the YouTube algorithm pumping. So yeah, we got all the VODs coming up over there. We keep it at a nice length so that way you can watch everything at your leisure. If you're busy with work, school, all your stuff, taking care of kids, whatever's going on. So yeah, we would love it if you guys can just go ahead and subscribe over there. Would be super sick. But we will be going into our break for now and be returning with the next match, which is going to be Classic versus Maru. Don't miss it. Some more RSL coming up.
inside. Go inside. No! 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 Ah! Oh! Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, God! Ah! Oh, my God. Oh! Oh!
Welcome back, everybody, to the RSL semifinals, upper bracket semifinals, I should say. We're going to be going into our second match of the day. The first one was pretty quick, to be honest. Not too much happening. It was a couple of very decisive games between both Cure and Zoun. Zoun coming with a nice 3-1 victory, and so now we're going to be going into Maru versus Classic, which I think is going to be the highlight series of the day. I'm very excited for this one. Very curious to see how these two play out. They have not really matched versus each other much since, I think you said DreamHack Dallas it was, so that was even before this new meta came out with the fast storm and everything. So I really want to see how Maru actually plays against it, against Classic specifically, since he's kind of the one that pioneered it. It seemed like in the group stage he was pretty keen on going for the mech stuff too, so perhaps he might bring that back out as well.
Yeah, Maru actually has a 75% win rate in this matchup right here, but Classic has leveled up so much recently, and with the changes in the meta, I think he looks super strong right now. Like you said, he did lose to Maru at Dallas DreamHack. He did lose in the GSL this year, but I think he's kind of reinvented his game this year, and I think he's going to have a really good shot in this series. I don't think the games are going to look similar to the first series of the day. I think we'll see some longer games. Hopefully we'll see some longer games. I think Cure managed to get a 30C in just one of those games, and then it promptly died right afterwards to a time-in. So I'm hoping to see some more macro, some different styles coming out of here. We know how Classic likes to play. He likes to get Storm and sit back and let the Terran come to him and just get that insane economy. That's the style he's known for. We'll have to see if that is going to be on the cards here as we load into map number 1 on Ultra Love.
Yeah, Classic really does love to go for just the more passive styles, just waiting to engulf anything that really comes his way, like you're mentioning. He's not really one that goes for any of these 4-gate blink switch-ups as often, I would say. Definitely not for that. Definitely not going to do that 2-gate build that Zoun's been throwing out every now and then. Definitely not going to see that on the cards, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. I'm expecting these games to be a little bit longer, but to be fair, that is also hinging on the fact that hinging on the assumption that Maru doesn't try to just all-in Classic as well. So that's always a possibility here. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like we know how Classic's going to play this series. But Maru, on the other hand, is a complete wildcard, right? Like, he can do really aggressive games. He can play the late game like no one else. Like, he can kind of play a variety of styles, and I feel like it's going to be him setting the pace in this series, bringing out some different builds, hopefully, and probably taking the fight to Classic. Right now, we just got your standard Reaper opener. Nexus going down, Core on the way for Classic here. Dude, I'm getting excited for this series. These players are both so good, man.
Yes. It's really cool to see Maru even just playing, of course. He was absent in the first season, so to have him actually here playing in season number 2 is great to see. He's a favorite, of course, to win the whole thing, but of course, Classic. This is essentially, this could be like the finals, man.
This could be grand finals right now, guys. But it's not.
It's not.
It could be, though.
Maybe later.
In my mind, this is grand finals.
Perhaps
whoever
next
wins
week
this
will.
takes it all.
Let's rip out the trophy right now. Let's do it.
No,
End it right here. Stop the count.
Stop the
Whoever
seal.
wins this is the winner of season 2.
Yeah, there is that lower bracket, of course. So whoever loses here will move to the lower bracket and have another chance to fight. But being in grands on the winner's side gives you a huge advantage here in our new format.
True.
You do have to win 2 series in a row as the loser. I believe it's a best of 7 followed by a best of 3. So that's obviously way more difficult than winning just the 1 series, which is your prize for getting to grands through the winner's bracket. This Reaper is going to come in here, see there is a base, and then leave as the Stalker shoos him away. And the Twilight is going down on the back of this.
That's about all you can really ever hope to see as a Reaper in the early game PvP.
Right.
It feels like,
oh, he has a base. Okay, cool.
Well, dang, I should have expected that. Damn, why did I make this unit?
Unless it's Clem's Reaper and then it kills like 3 probes somehow. But yeah, the CC actually being made on the high ground here.
Yeah, it looks like he went for, I wasn't paying close enough attention. I was joking with Sturgeon over here, but I think it looks like it was a double gas opener into a, like with a one base wall off. So then you go for the CC on the high ground as well, just to mind game a little bit and also just to keep it all nice and safe. So we'll be able to put that down pretty quickly anyways, but does have some of these Widow Mines out. We'll be able to drop them with the medevac coming across as well. Just at a slightly different timing, going for the double gas opener itself. So yeah, we'll see if Classic's prepared for this. Generally, Protosses are. I honestly feel like I can't even think of the last time I saw a ridiculous mine shot on a mineral line. In one of these,
not
like,
with the
just
first drop,
yeah,
right?
like it's been so long. Protosses are just so good at dealing with this now. It just really seems like it never does anything in any game except my own.
You poor Protoss players having to deal with a Widow Mine drop every single game at like 4 minutes. What a nightmare. But that is the meta. That is the world we live in, guys. The Medac flying in. He's actually bringing Marines as well over here. There is one sentry in a Stalker. Oh, he's going to try and target it down. Wow, he goes for it. Humongous courage on the
Is that what you're going for? Is that what was in your brain,
that's
Steve?
what I want to say. Lots of courage from Classic being shown there. Gonna actually target down that Widow Mine with the probes. Only 2 going down.
Only
I had
two,
to think of it. I couldn't think of a different word. I was like, oh, what else? Guys, courage. Yeah, very courageous there.
Oh yes, definitely so much courage there from Classic for sure. I wonder where he got the courage. I wonder where it's stemming from.
We'll never know.
The fact that he pulled that was actually crazy. Like going for the surround with probes is so risky.
Yeah.
The perfect surround on it was great too. So. Yeah, perfect defense yet again from the Protoss on the Widow Mine drop. No damage really to be seen from that, and the medevac just heading on back home, so no real issues there. We're going to actually have a fast forge coming out from Classic as well, a little bit interesting. I don't think he's gone for the Templar Archives already, as it's a bit different timing. Of course, he's not even got the double gas of the natural. So yeah, this is an interesting style. It's not something that we normally see anymore. A bit old, but yeah, let's see how it does.
Yeah, this Banshee going to come in here. Does get 2 probes. Meanwhile, the Stalkers and Observer there, ready to greet it, and it will go down. I thought it was out.
I thought so too. Wow.
Yeah,
that
wow.
Stalker's got a laser on him, a scoped on in. Just
got the range extender, whatever you call that. Yeah, able to shoot pretty far there, get that Banshee. But I mean, it was only the one. He does have another one coming out here. Didn't decide to group them up and send them in together. And we actually have, we have Banshee speed on the way here, Gemini.
What? Okay, so yeah, he did.
What is going on?
Was it Maru that? No, it was Bunny. Bunny did this, I think, last in the group stages as well. He went for the mech style with the fast Banshee speed upgrade, and it did nothing.
Right.
It literally didn't do anything. The Banshees kind of like walked in and got killed off really quickly, and then he didn't really make any more. So that was a bit unfortunate and very underwhelming. But this time we're getting Maru bringing it on out, and I'm a little bit more high hopes for Maru pulling this out than Bunny, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I'm very curious. Oh my God, no way.
Oh,
wow,
that would have been huge.
That would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, but Maru's built different, guys. The Banshee control will be spectacular, I'm sure. I feel like if you're going for Banshee speed, you really want to keep that first one alive, right? Like losing that's a little bit of a shame. You will be making more here. They do have tremendous DPS, kind of this glass cannon unit, right? They die pretty easy, but they also dish out tons of damage. And it is going to be mech, as you mentioned, from Maru. Getting his tanks, getting his Hellions. He'll be making those into Hellbats. And let's see if he can make this work. I feel like Classic's not the kind of player who's just going to cut probes on 3 bases. He does have the 4th Nexus going down, as we see. But he's not the kind of guy who's going to see mech and just full send it like we saw in the last series. I feel like he's going to have a more long-term plan to deal with this.
Yeah, you can already see he's got more probes than Zoun did in that other game that we just watched in that series where he was cutting at around like 57 or something like that. Classic going up to the 63, still with that 4th base already coming up as well, like you said. So yeah, not really his style to go for. The triple Banshee going to be going over to the main base with that Hyperflight Rotors upgrade fully activated at this point. We'll see how much damage that's able to do. I'm not quite sure how much Classic has prepared because a lot of his units are in the front here to try and deny this 3rd base. This is generally one of the weaknesses of mech, is that it's a little harder to get this 3 base set up since your units are not as mobile. Warp Prism also dropping Zealots in the back end while the Banshees go in the main.
Oh, Worker's going to be dying on both sides here. The Stalker Warping comes in. Meanwhile, that CC is taking a lot of damage. Does have to lift, get out, and have the CC, the Workers repair it. The SCV, sorry. A ton of them actually going down, 9 already. The damage continue to accumulate on both sides. A medevac just going to get out. This game's suddenly getting wild. Are the Banshees still going, or have they been dealt with?
I think they've been dealt with for now. They're actually going over to the 4th base, just targeting down the Nexus, and if there's no units to respond, this actually might die. Like, they actually deal pretty decent DPS. Banshees are surprisingly strong, but yeah, Maru realizing that he's probably not going to be able to get that, just wants to make sure they stay alive. A much more conservative, safe play. I do like it from him. Doesn't want to get too crazy, considering he did just lose a bunch of SCVs, a couple more 2 tank splash as well. That's cute from Classic. I love that.
Yeah, very nice move there. Gets a couple more. Right now, things may kind of stabilize for a moment. With DC Classic ahead in the word count, able to delay that 3rd CC for a long time. And he already has his 4th base. He's macroing up. He's getting his upgrades on the way. We see the Cyclone upgrade coming out here, as well as armor and the Blue Flame Hellion upgrade. So Maru getting all his mech upgrades here. Going to be trying to transition into a strong mid game. I feel like it's come out kind of even. I feel like both players, like maybe Classic would be a little bit happier with how this has gone. I feel like he killed a ton of workers, but making 2 Immortals at a time is exactly what you need against mech. So I like his setup here.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the styles to go for if you're going for the macro approach. We saw some of the other players, like we already mentioned, going for the early bust with just the gateway units and the archons, just to try and kill it nice and quick. Actually, he's still going into Storm late. That is a very interesting decision from Classic. The fact that it's going to be Cyclone Hellbat mech is kind of the reason why I believe he's doing this, because if you go for that style, it is actually still good to have Storm or some sort of splash. It's very good to zone those units away because they are so quick. You don't want them just diving you, and you don't want them to, you know, just have free reign. Generally, if they are going very heavy tank compositions, going first fast storm is not the play, because, again, storming tanks is not really a thing. You can't really get in range to storm them anyways, but you want to be zoning away all of those other ground units. And
oh my god,
Jesus,
look at this squad of Banshees floating in here. Going to depower both the Robos before those Immortals come out. That is huge. They are so fast. Going to fly through the main here. What a wild move. Pick off a bunch of workers, depower a bunch of stuff, and even get out without losing a single Banshee. Huge move by Maru here. I feel like this is exactly what he needed to get like ahead in this game, get back in this game, because he's going to be able to take out this base now.
Wow.
No way Classic can save this. These Banshees are such a menace right now.
Yeah, this is the benefit of having that Hyperflight upgrade on them. And this is something, again, you just don't normally see. And this is not something we saw when Bunny tried to do this the last time we saw it in this tournament. His got basically shut down really quickly, and he kind of had to just abandon the idea. But now we get to see it in its full-fleshed ideology here, with these Banshees just going all over the place. It's just a straight run-by. It's literally just a drive-by of the bases. Just kill a pylon there, few probes here, go into the main base, kill a pylon over there, just go over to the... cancel the 5th base, why not?
Just kill it all. I feel like I'm watching Mutalist. There's like so many Banshees out right now. Classic deciding it's time to go, or maybe not actually. A little bit hesitant here. When you're hesitant against Cyclones, you're going to lose units to the lock-ons right now. I don't know if he can deal with the Banshees right now. The anti-air, yes, Cyclones obviously, but they're going to deal with so much DPS. Maru has trying to float over this 4th base. Classic's army is here to meet it. But right now, Maru has a bigger army. If he can get a good engagement, it could go his way. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to save this CC. Oh, it goes down. Big pick-off for Classic.
Yeah, that's quite nice, considering the fact that it wasn't able to really get into a nice position with this army, but now he's getting kind of flanked a little bit by the Banshees on the bottom and the rest of the units over on the right-hand side. This is a wipe of an army coming out from Maru, just nothing at all to be left standing here from Classic. Definitely an overextension from him to try and go for that CC, because even trying to go into that choke point earlier, his army wasn't suited for it. Sure, he gets a crazy couple storms on this little small ramp, but this army from Maru is just not going to stop, I feel like.
Yeah, no, he's powering through here. So many Protoss units going down. Cyclones can chase them all the way across the map with these lock-ons. Nothing Protoss has can outrange that, obviously, so you're always going to pick off a few. Maru does have another base landing over here, but Classic's army has kind of been completely reset here. He's down to 40 supply. He is getting lots of upgrades. You know, he's got his tech on the way and stuff, but he just doesn't have the units he needs right now. If Maru decides to go for a big fight, I feel like he's still adding in Banshees here. This is such a nice take on the mech style.
Yeah, no, that's very difficult, actually, to deal with Banshees when they get high in number. Their DPS is surprisingly large. Like, they actually do so much damage if they just go unaccounted for. And you're not used to seeing this because it's normally just 1 or 2 for some probe harass, and then that's it. Like, they probably die in a push because it's only one of them and you just target it down and nothing happens. But if you have a giant mech army on the ground, the Banshees just kind of get ignored for a large part of it, and they just dish out that incredible DPS. And so the fact that he continues to make some of them and just kind of have a solid amount of them in his army is very good. It's going to be very strong for him in these fights, I think, and Maru's just going to continue to take it nice and slow, making sure he can round out his composition to be as deadly as possible.
Absolutely. I really like what he did, by the way. He sent all his units home. Obviously, all the units being mechanical, they can be repaired by the SCVs. That's what he did. Just gets all his units back to full health, retained his army supply. He is maxed out right now. He's still adding on his Banshees, getting 2 more CCs. I think both these guys want to take this to the proper late game, Gemini.
Yeah, Maru definitely does want to, and Classic kind of needs to if he wants to be able to win, because right now his army is not able to do that. I think unless he gets the most insane engage possible, it is not going to be happening, especially not against this double bridge setup. This is impossible.
How do you even engage into this with the tanks?
You cannot walk in. This is going to be so difficult. He's just trying to stop Maru at this point. He doesn't want Maru to get on his side of these double bridges, but he cannot actually walk across himself. A couple of Zealots going to try to do some harass, but there's a PF here. There's a tank. Those aren't going to do anything whatsoever. Maru is really just solidifying himself on these 4 bases to eventually then just skyrocket once he can get these other CCs all made up.
Yeah, he's adding in sensor towers now to give him vision for when those Zealots do harass. Oh, big fight right now, though. Maru actually pushing over the bridge, going through no man's land. Big storms go down a lot of this Terran army, actually. There's a few siege tanks here. They will be picked off. This War Prism just hanging around with the Banshees for some reason. Somehow managed to stay alive for quite a while, but will finally fall. And Classic has actually somehow managed to find a good fight there in what looked like a very difficult position to engage into.
Yeah, that was really good by him, realizing that Maru stepped just a little bit too far forward. Maybe Maru not expecting Classic to be fully aware of that army movement, but Classic really capitalizes on that moment, really takes the best trade that he could in that awkward scenario. And honestly, still really good micro from Maru on all the Banshees as well, to keep so many of them alive, darting all around, being able to pick off some of the Immortals here and there as well. Made it so that way he actually didn't just roll over and die immediately to a counterattack or anything. So a relatively even trade, but one that I didn't really expect to be going so evenly, given the positions that Maru was taking against Classic.
Yeah, I thought Maru was in such an amazing position, but Classic has turned this game on its head, even being the aggressor now. Going to try and engage into this mech army. Big storm goes down on those tanks. Kind of resets the tank count again. There's 6 tanks in production right now. Maru's production is insane, but he's lost a lot of units, and now this base cannot land again. This time it will not go down. He will be able to send that back and repair it. He has another base floating down to the kind of 3 o'clock position. Dude, clocks are hard, man. I use a digital clock these days.
Hey,
I don't know what time it is.
I still can do it.
I look at my phone and I'm like, oh, it's 3 o'clock.
That's the reason I wear this watch, man. I need to know what the digital clocks are.
Oh, so you can't StarCraft 2 better. Yeah, makes sense.
I literally wear a normal watch so that way, I can know what the positions
where
of the bases
are. That's sick. What else is sick is this army coming in here, pushing the Terran base. There's not that much here from Maru. A bunch of siege tanks on the high ground. Going to try and shell out some shots, but tons of SCVs going down. Maru, this is good damage from Classic, but you don't want to lose too much here, right?
No, I mean, this is still pretty good for him, getting a lot of SCVs, bringing that count back down for Maru. One tank somehow able to just get shots off for free. Go kill that, please, Classic. There we go, realizing it. Picks it off. But now, this is a great position for Classic. Honestly, dislodging this position is very important because it is on a high ground. It makes it very difficult normally to attack into. He is just going to leave it, though. I think he could have definitely combated that a little bit more, but we'll just kind of give the position back up, but does dislodge the base at least and get good damage.
Sick pickup there on the Immortal, able to save that. These Immortals are so precious when you find the mech army. 6 High Templar being warped in at a time, going to turn those into Archons. Both these guys have huge production. Classic's economy is insane. He's up to 90 probes right now. Do you think it's worth adding in DTs in these kind of games? I always like it, but never mind that. Here is the engagement. Maru on the top of the ramp, going to be trying to weather the storm here as this army comes in. I feel like Maru's armies are kind of spread pretty well, but the big warp in here, is it enough?
Wow, some of those Immortals got completely stuck on a couple of units. I think they were attacking some Widow Mines or something. So a bunch of tank splashes actually was able to go on top of all of them with the Banshees as well. So the Immortal count completely reset. Just a couple of Zealots trying to do what they can. I love the switch into these Widow Mines coming out from Maru to really make it much more difficult to get these engagements going in an efficient manner for Classic, and that just really worked out perfectly for him. It looked like Classic was just going to win the game there, I felt like, but those Immortals all getting stuck was really brutal underneath like 6 tanks just constantly shelling them.
Yeah, very, very big there. A cannon going down, so he's going to get some static defense to maybe deal with any harassment that may be coming down. Classic taking that bottom right expansion is scanned by Maru pretty nice and early, so he knows that's there. These are the kind of bases that are vulnerable to the Banshees, right? Like if you take or even the Hellion harasses, we do see these Hellions come in right now, going to toast a ton of probes. I think Classic can deal with some probe losses. He did go up to 90, but this is kind of getting a little bit out of control. Nice control from Maru here. And yeah, both these players going to start harassing each other. The Warp Prism flying in as well. That was so sick. I just took one shot and got picked up. He could go for a huge... See ya! Could go for a big warp in the main if that's what he decides to do. Dude, this base just cannot land.
Yeah, this is like the 3rd time this is happening. I feel like I'm in deja vu right now.
It's Groundhog Day.
Is Classic about to be surrounded at this high ground position again and lose his whole army? Oh, let's find out. Doesn't look like Maru's in position for it, but we'll be trying to go on to this other side of the map as well. Lots of Widow Mines on the defense, though, to be able to kill these off. And one storm, a couple of storms actually, will be able to kill off some of those SCVs. So despite all the Zealots getting wiped by the Widow Mines, those double storms able to do the SCV damage that he wanted. But now the Cyclones are able to come on over with these Banshees. Will they be able to actually threaten this base? It's going to need the rest of his army to do so, I think. And here it comes. So many more Hellbats on the way. No Zealot reinforcements are going to be able to withstand this. But now Classic going into the natural as well. Things are getting out of control.
If he can get on top of that Terran production, he'll be able to kill any mech units that come out. There's 2 tanks on the high ground, going to try and make a defense in the main. He loses that base in the bottom right. He has to get some counter damage done here. And is he going to decide to go into the main is the question. There's so much Terran here, so many Hellbats pushing into this base. The probes have to get evacuated. Classic, I like this, splitting up his forces a little bit. Going to be able to take out some damage at that, get some good work kills at that 3rd base. Gets the tanks on the high ground. A little bit decisive, though, not fully sending it up the ramp. This CC will probably go down, but there's so much damage on both sides right now.
This is absolutely ridiculous. It's gone full Clown Fiesta at this point, as every single side base is getting cleared by both players. Both those units having to get canceled there, realizing those are going to get depowered anyways. That's the 2nd time that Artosis pylon rears its head, as we have Widow Mines getting burrowed on the right-hand side to try and kill off any of these units. Huge storms on the Hellbats as we switch over to that. That's a key moment there for Classic, because his army was really starting to get overwhelmed, I feel like. The amount of units that were coming from Classic was not really able... Oh my god, don't walk into the Widow Mines! Unfortunately, getting a huge couple shots as they just walk right on in. Now this is getting absolutely ridiculous.
45 SCVs going down. Maru's economy is in the dumpster, basically relying on orbitals at this point. I think Classic is starting to come out ahead in these trades. Oh, one Hellbat taking down some High Templar there. He does recall. Oh, that storm is huge, and the Archons and Stalkers come back as well. Classic going to be able to finally clear up this army of Marus, and I think he's looking to take this game here, Gemini, in such a dominant position. The last stand, the last remnants of the Terran army march across the map, but they are not enough. Classic still has an economy. He's still on 60 workers. He still has active bases that are not mined out, so he can still make units. This is all Maru has.
Yeah, this army is nothing to do anything with, honestly. It's just a couple of tanks, some Hellbats, which should easily get dealt with by some storms. We're even picking off some of the tanks over on the right-hand side. Even if this army doesn't somehow kill this, it's going to be the reinforcements that do it. Classic, with a banger first game to start off this series. Maru trying to bring out that mech and not able to actually get it to work.
Now that is some PVT, boys. That was an awesome game. Big switch up from the first series where the games are nice, short and sweet. We got to see a nice long macro game, see how mech deals, with the late game Protoss Force. I feel like Maru was in a really good spot in a few times in that game. Like he had a huge army lead and stuff, but he didn't decide to push it. decided to take map control, get his center towers. Do you think there was a moment there where he could have kind of tried to make something happen?
It's
like when they were set up on the bridge, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the map
that
architecture is very difficult to push over, but if you don't do anything and the Protoss takes the side bases and everything, it can get really tough.
It's really hard because as the meching player, it's very difficult just to get any sort of position, because if the Protoss is just paying attention and is aware, they will be able to stop you. And in that position, that's when it happened for Classic. Yeah. And that was really the moment when it did, the tempo of the game switched. Because up until that point, Maru was really making a lot of good moves. His Banshees were doing lots of damage. He was really ramping ahead in supply, and his economy was still totally kicking with a solid like 80 SCVs or something. And so since he wasn't able to really punish anything with that full attack in the middle, it getting kind of caught out and they just traded evenly, that really did stunt a lot of his momentum, I feel like. So if he was maybe just a little bit more passive in that moment, or just Classic wasn't quite in position, I think he would have had a little bit of a better opportunity. But yeah, it was a very close game regardless, and it was much different compared to the other games that we were seeing earlier today. Yeah,
I really like Maru's take on this battle mech style into the full mech that we've seen. Adding in so many Banshees. I really like them just flying around. And like I said, it's kind of like playing Mutas in ZVP. Like you can pick off the pylons, pick off workers, try to depower some stuff. If there's not enough Stalkers, you can actually just kill them. Because the Banshee DPS is insane. It's like very hard to cover all your bases and have detection there because they're invisible. But Classic's defense was excellent. Made quite a big comeback in that game, honestly. He was quite far behind, I felt like, at one point. But yeah, really awesome first game here. That was just game number 1, guys. We are going to be jumping into Persephone for game number 2. And this map is quite close by air, so these Banshee openers can be a little bit stronger here, I feel like. As can the Widowmine drops and stuff like that. You know where the Terran's coming from, but they get there quicker, right?
Yeah. I think this map also kind of feels not bad for mech as well when you think about it. Like the 3 base pocket, the pocket 3rd base is kind of easy to defend, I feel like, with the couple ramps there. Might be still pretty good. I'm curious if Maru will try to go for that again. He's going for a double gas opener as well this time, so likely going to be starting off with something similar to the first game, because again, the start wasn't the problem, I think, from Maru. I think he started off quite strong. His build was very good. The amount of damage he was able to do was actually significant. The Widowmine drop, of course, doesn't really ever do anything, but then the Banshees following up were able to do a lot of good damage, even though he was kind of losing some back at home as well. But overall came out pretty well in the early game, I would say. So yeah, I wouldn't be really surprised maybe if Maru tries something similar, honestly. I feel like this mech style, he's really been liking it.
Yeah, indeed. I really like the attack he did on the bottom right base, where he sent like the Banshees and the Hellions down there to harass it. Maybe if he does get that big army supply lead, he can sit back but still send out those Hellions, because they're super cheap, right? You can remake those really quickly. You can kill tons of probes easily if there's not units in position. Even if there are, sometimes you're still going to trade out effectively. And try to keep that worker count down, because once Classic got up to 90 workers on like all those bases, the Protoss machine is just churning at that point, you know, cranking out so many units, insane production. But that is, you know, a bit in the future. We don't know if it's going to be mech yet. Right now it is just looking pretty normal here. Classic going to get a nice early shield battery here, as well as the Adept.
Yeah, he's just going to be reacting to the double gas opener. You want to just get those batteries just a little bit earlier against this, because you just want to be super safe if they're going for those Hellions and Reapers and all that good stuff. So it looks like it will be the Hellion, the Hellion Reaper coming out from Maru. And Classic actually got going for an Adept into a Sentry, which is a bit interesting. A bit of a mix between the two styles. Normally you see either Stalker then Sentry, or it's going to be like double Adept Stalker or something like that. So just going to be doing something a little bit different. Maybe we'll be tricking Maru a tiny little bit with the early Adept, but not really going to matter too much. Maybe just wants to see if he can get this early SCV kill yet again. We'll try to go for it and dives deep. We'll be able to get it. That is annoying as Maru, but losing the Adept for it is annoying as well from Classic, but the full scout essentially on all the units as well feels like I think I would take that trade if I was Classic.
Yeah, very good info, right? Knowing that the Hellions are out, knowing you're going to be having to defend that is great to know. And then you get an SCV and a delay on the CC for your troubles. Obviously, you'd like to keep the Adept, but it just doesn't work like that. You have to lose it, basically. And then we're going to see Classic try to set up the kind of wall at the front here. Get ready for this Hellion Reaper pressure. We see Blink on the way. That's what you need. The medevac is coming out, so he'll be able to drop those in the main or maybe drop them in the natural like Zoun did. He has options here. He can try to pull the army apart and, you know, drop them where it's weakest, right?
Yep. I do like the small little thing that Classic did with the early Sentry actually not using the Hallucination Scout right away after seeing that it was going to be some early poking with the Reaper Hellion. With the Adept, he just kind of kept the energy banked just in case so he could force field as much as possible instead of potentially only having one and then the units can just go around it or something. So a nice little cute alteration there, just a small thing, but always kind of cool to see those little interactions as a player. You know, I'm a Protoss myself, so that's just something I can kind of put in the back of my brain for my games every now and then. So just kind of cool to see those little things. And it looks like for Maru, he's going to be setting himself up for a potential Marine tank SCV push. Not super committed.
Maru has cut SCVs. He's only on 23 workers right now, making nothing but Marines and Vikings. The medevac going across the map. This is going to be insane, guys. He hasn't made a worker in so long right now. This is a time he's going to try and hit. He does have 2 tanks. He's got the landed Viking right now. He's got the Marines. Pushing up here, these Stalkers getting some very good shots off, shaving as many units as they can. That's exactly what you want to do, and he forces the siege quite far away from the natural.
Yeah, that's a nice play from Classic. He wants to slow this down as much as possible. If he could get the medevac with the tanks in, would be absolutely ridiculous. Gets the blink before they're able to siege up, so one of them getting killed off right away. The Immortal coming in for the second one as well. A clinical defense so far from Classic, despite the fact that it looked like he was going to be getting caught off guard with such a fast attack from Maru, even going to be able to kill off that medevac and everything on the ground with no upgrades on these Marines. A slow Viking, there's not really much you can do. As long as you just get back to that battery, you will be safe. Maru knows it, and he just leaves the game. Classic, amazing defense.
Wow, what a mix-up from Maru. Just cutting SCVs on 23, deciding to send it, said, no, I don't want to play another 25 macro late game with you. I'm going to make something happen. Classic was ready, though. Classic kind of identified
he made something happen.
Oh, yeah.
He gave Classic an extra win.
Yeah, that's the kind of game where if it works, you feel great because it took, like, no effort, right? It's so fast. But if it fails, you're suddenly 2-0 down and you didn't give yourself a lot of chances to make something happen. It's kind of a one-shot deal there. It does fall flat. And Classic is up 2-0 now in this series.
Yeah, that was very brutal for Maru. I wasn't really expecting him to go that heavy. I didn't notice the SCV cut there. Of course, only bringing a few with the medevac is usually like, okay, they're going to be a little bit aggressive, but they'll still kind of try to macro out of it kind of. But yeah, with no SCVs actually being made that entire time anyways as well, makes it basically impossible for him to recover from that type of a defense from Classic. So just very well done by him. Let's talk about Patreon. How about let's do that? Are you ready for this? Are you ready to talk about how Patreon is the coolest place in the world and all the cool kids are going there and signing up to this RSL Patreon and becoming members of the RSL army?
I heard all the cool kids have already been signing up recently. Tons coming in. Thank you guys so much for the support already. It is patreon.com/revivesc2. Get your mom's credit card. Get on there.
Steal your grandma's credit card too. Get her signed up. She doesn't know.
Still works.
She has no idea what the
envelope
is,
like
right?
her pension. If that card's still working, get it out. Let's get on there. You got the different tiers. You can vote for everything you want. Maps, players, all the good stuff. You can even come to the live event if you're a high enough tier. I don't know which one it is, but that is a possibility, guys. It's all happening on Patreon. Thank you guys who have been signing up recently. There's been a lot of them. We really appreciate you guys keeping the game and the scene going here at the RSL. Awesome stuff.
Yep. We're going to be going into a break to get into our next game, so just wait a little bit longer. We'll be back with some more RSL just after this.
Jesus. Oh my God, he's hiding and waiting in there. He waits in the room. Oh my God.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We are in the middle of our last best of 5 of the day. Currently 2-0 for Classic against Maru. Not looking good if you were a fan of Terran, as the Cure match as well just before wasn't exactly going that way either. The Terrans are, feeling not too good today. They're getting the Protoss wrath for sure.
Yeah, it's a struggle bus out here right now. These Terrans having a tough time. This is either going to be the shortest day of the RSL ever, or Maru's going to make a sick comeback, guys. What do you think is going to be? We are going to be loading into the next map. Maru cannot lose another game, or he will be falling to the lower bracket, Gemini. That's not where you want to be. That's where all the losers are. You want to just coast into winners finals, into grand finals. Maru has that potential to make a comeback happen. If anyone can do it, it's him.
Only cool Giga Chavs are in the top upper bracket, man. No one wants to be a beta loser in the bottom bracket.
Dude, there was a thing where people were like, don't call it the losers bracket. Let's call it the lower bracket. It's offensive to the players.
Bro, those guys are losers.
If you lost, you're in the losers bracket.
If you lost the match, you deserve to be called a loser.
So funny because neither of us would last 5 minutes.
We would get bodied. I have been bodied by Classic numerous times. Anytime I sign up for these open Korean Cups, literally have played for him the first round so many times, and he fucking kills me with 2 Adepts. I'm just like,
couple of units.
I was like, I'm gonna last 7 minutes this time, I swear, and then boom, 2 more Adepts come in. I'm just like, ah.
But does the Korean Cup have a losers bracket?
No, it doesn't.
So you're just out.
I am just out. That's true. I'm not technically a loser.
You're not a loser.
I'm not labeled as a loser.
I'm just in winners.
I'm just an eliminated person.
Yeah. Anyway, the third map is going to be what, Gemini?
Your favorite.
Yeah, it is Tokamak.
Tokamak.
Is Tokamak, guys, the map that I keep messing up for some reason. The probe is going to go here into the main of Maru, see what's going on. It's just a normal build. No crazy proxy or anything like that. Maru sometimes does like to go for stuff like that. Nexus going down here for Classic on the back of this. The slightly off-center CC goes down. Doesn't want to chase that probe all day. Just throws it down and then we'll lift it a little bit later. Get that all nice and squared up. And yeah, we're looking at a pretty normal game here so far.
Yep, nothing too crazy to start this off. Classic, of course, feeling plenty confident, I imagine, coming into this next match, as he is 2-0 up, and honestly, everything has been working for him so far. The mech game was a bit close, of course, at times, but I feel like overall he seemed like he was in control of things. He was on the map, he was aggressive, he was trying to contain the Terran player as much as possible, keep them from moving across the map, so I think he's going to be feeling pretty good as long as this goes into a nice long game as well. I mean, even just swatting away that one attack in the last game as well with such ease, I feel like he's going to just be feeling so good coming into this third game as if he's untouchable.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about Protoss and how good they've become at defending recently. It kind of like...
What are you trying to say here, Steve?
No, I mean, like, it's just like they defend so well multiple layers of aggression every game without taking many losses, and that's kind of just normal now. It kind of reminds me of like early Zerg, like when they had to deal with like all like the Hellion run-bys, Banshee harass.
When the Queen got buffed and suddenly the whole matchup changed.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, we just make this one unit and it beats everything for the first 5 minutes. That was pretty sweet. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed by the Protoss these days. The defense is so good, and the Terrans have tons of builds and they try loads of different stuff. It's just cool to see. It is going to be another Hellion here coming out from Maru. Actually going to just run by this Stalker, going to get out on the map. Does want to get across the other side of the map. These two Stalkers have been very annoying right now, and the Marines just hugging that barracks. He doesn't have vision of them, though, high ground vision, obviously. And if this SCV comes out, it might die, but he's going to wait until he has enough and then move down the ramp, right?
Oh, he just cancels it and then remakes it. He doesn't want to lose it.
Smart, yeah.
So just tries to keep the Stalkers preoccupied until he's got enough units. I guess he's just waiting for the Cyclone and the couple extra Marines. So this is annoying from Classic. I mean, Maru doesn't really want to let this happen. Yeah, he will at least get some. He can't just keep canceling them forever, I guess. I mean,
he's not insane.
Yeah, he's not a dumb person. But yeah, no, he's going to eventually get some of these. Actually, a recall getting forced. Wow. And almost losing both of them. That would have been brutal if he actually did. Yeah, Classic, I guess, overstaying his welcome. Kind of maybe just not realizing, like, oh, there might be a Cyclone.
Yeah.
He just kind of left those there, just kind of forgot about them for a second there. Was dealing with that Hellion, making sure it didn't get into his base or anything. And yeah, unfortunately, forced to recall. That's missed energy. You don't really want to recall at this time. That you want to be chrono boosting. Right,
exactly. He does still have some chronos. You know, Pros has a lot of energy on those Nexus Gemini, don't they? Yeah.
Hell but, yeah.
He delayed the SCV production for so long there. I feel like that was quite nice. He did lose a Stalker for it. I wonder if Maru will repair the CC or not. Like Pros feel like they don't repair the CCs that much. Whenever my building takes a bit of damage, I always want to repair it right away. I'm like paranoid.
Just total OCD.
No, seriously. Like I'm like, what if it dies when it could have lived on 10 HP?
What if it dies when it's got 95% of its health? Oh.
Even though it's like not possible at this point in the game, but. Yeah, Maru didn't actually repair it, so it's actually still on orange health. I would have paranoia playing like this. Like, well, imagine if just some units blinked in and took it out, but no, that's not obviously going to be on the cards.
What if a mothership just warped in front of me and just suddenly nuked my arm?
What if a carrier showed up and he had no anti-air? Yeah. But anyway, not going to be the case, obviously. Pretty normal kind of transitions here. Classic going to be getting his third base, and Maru going for a quick third CC as well. Relatively quick in the matchup. He does have Banshees on the way, going to make another one here. And Charge coming out, and 2 Forges for Classic.
Double Forge is definitely a throwback. You do not see this much at all anymore. This is a very old style, was pretty common, I mean, years ago. I mean, literally creator pioneered this style in 2012 and won TSL with that. So honestly, a very old style going back super far, but it's been used many times throughout the years, but has not been seen of late. So I think Classic kind of realizing that Maru is just really going mech like every single time and just bringing out some different ideas to deal with this meching style, going for a very fast double upgrade, knowing there's not going to be any super early aggression. It's just going to be some harass. The Banshees, of course, will be annoying, but that's not going to stop you from going into 2 Forges very quickly, and then you go into everything else after that. I like this adaptation from Classic.
Yeah, and it lines up very well, especially against the early third CC. You know Terran can't have a huge army to kill you before the upgrades come out, so you're definitely going to get them online.
Oh, this is cute.
The hallucinated War Prism floating by there, that's going to give Maru a headache, or maybe a panic attack if he doesn't detect it. But we'll see. Wait, what's he doing with this?
I think he literally just flew it by and was just like, hey, look, I might do this.
Did he see it? Did Maru see it?
I think so. Maybe not.
Oh, you just think so? Now he thinks it's in the airspace.
Yeah, that's
actually
the idea.
So sick. Yeah. So at any point, like a warp in could happen.
I don't know if he actually saw it though. Is the funny thing. He's not reacting in any way.
That's what I thought.
Or he just completely called the bluff. I'm not really sure, but it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, Giga Chad move. I know that's hallucinated. These Hellions gonna push in here, catch them Zealots warping in. Actually, okay, 1 for 1. Not too bad for either player. Storm is on the way. Classic going to be rounding out his tech. He's going for the double robo here, going to pump out Immortals 2 at a time. That's what he used very well in that first game to deal with the mech army eventually. Maru again his blue flame upgrade as well as a bunch of Cyclones. He's going battle mech here.
Yep. It's generally the style it seems like that the Terrans do like to go, because it gives you some amount of map presence, some mobility. Just sitting back and just going straight into mass tanks is kind of abusable as a Protoss player if they know how to deal with it. You can do tons of different things. I mean, just big charge or mortal busts will kill it. You can see that and just go super fast tech switch into fast carrier even. A lot of times I do this against meching Terrans that just gotta go straight into tanks, and it's completely catches them off guard. And since they give you the space, you're allowed to do it sometimes. So yeah, it's just generally the better play to go for this this battle mech opening, it seems like, from some of these pro level Terran players. And yeah, it just gives you so many units so quickly. Look how big these armies look. They just look so beefy.
They are big indeed, Gemini. Maru's got a 35 army supply advantage right now. Classic going to be the one probably defending. There's so many Hellbats. Nice storms go down on the Terran army. Forces the siege. That's what you wanted, right? You need to buy a little bit more time here as Classic. Let your four base economy kick in. He has 85 probes right now. Going to be cranking out so many units. And if you can force this mech army to kind of siege once or twice across the map, you can get out such a bigger army to deal with it. These Cyclones being annoying here, picking off whatever they can. Of course, the Blink can, what do you call that? Unlock the lock-on. What's the word? Help me here.
Dodge the lock-on,
Dodge the lock-on. He
Cancel
dodges
the
the
lock-on.
lock-on. Cancels the lock-on. So soon. Maru's still trying to make some headway here. It's going to be slow progress. I think unsieging the tanks might be a little bit risky here, as Classic is kind of sharking around to see what he can get done.
Yeah, this high ground position is really difficult for Maru to get up because Classic is doing a great job of just hiding up here, waiting for Maru to make any misplay, and that's when you strike with the storms on top of all of the Hellbats, all of the Cyclones, and that's where he's finally able to get that damage. But once those storms are done, once they're gone, it seems like there's nothing left for Classic. The Immortals able to get targeted down. Charge Thoughts coming into the natural, trying to make any sort of chaos happen. That low CC might come into play after all.
If that goes down, I will feel so vindicated, Gemini. You should have repaired it. But this is so much Terran right now, knocking on the door of Classic here. Going to push in. The Siege Tank's finally getting a good spot. That's what he's been looking for. The Banshee's raining down on the Immortals from the side. So much DPS, and he can't answer that. A bunch of SCVs do go down to a Zealot run by, I guess. But these tanks will get cleared up here, and Classic has somehow held this.
Wow, that was close on that defense. There was no observer in that fight for a long time, it seemed like. He finally had to bring one over, and that's when he was able to start killing off those Banshees, and then also then getting some extra Zealot Warpins to clear out the tanks since the storms finally were able to kill off the rest of those Hellbats. And on the back end, like you said, 12 SCVs getting killed off, but look at Maru at 77 SCVs still. It's like a Zerg player, man. You kill 20 of them, and somehow they're still way ahead of you anyways. I mean,
Well, the Protoss is on 85.
Yeah,
I mean,
in this sense, it's not quite that, but, you know, you feel like you did so much damage, yet they're still at an insane work account anyways. It's like, God,
players,
what do I
you
have to
always
do?
got to find a way to take a shot at the Zergs, Gemini. I squash them and they come back.
You guys had too much success for years and years. You got to take some heat, all right?
All right. Anyway, it's your turn now. So two cannons going down here, getting some static defense. Should probably heal that CC up at some point, but no, Zealous obviously won't go for it. They'll get the SCVs instead. That's guaranteed damage, and it can be healed if he ever needs to. Yep, I feel like Classic did such a good job defending that. I thought he was going to be in trouble there. This is what I would like to see more from Maru. Getting these Hellion harassment squads going down into the corner bases or the outermost bases. Try and trade them out for probes. Like, they can be really cost efficient if you trade some Hellions for probes. This random Stalker squad is going to come in here, forced to blink away, does lose one. And yeah, Classic's just getting his High Templar, he's getting his Immortals, and he's going to just play that, you know, mass base macro style that we saw in the first game.
Yeah, this is going to get a bit of a pause for now on the action. It seems like both players just trying to get to their maxed out states. Classic getting there first. Maru about to get there himself. But Maru generally doesn't really need to be the one doing anything crazy at this point because, again, he is the meching player. They are always going to be sitting back, just kind of waiting, trying to force the Protoss into awkward engagements and to overextend into their well-defended positions and whatnot. And it's going to be Classic that's going to try to multi-prong Maru to death at this point, as he's got an army over on the top left-hand side with his bottom right army also trying to find any sort of wiggle room that he can to get anything, but Maru is very good on the defense for now. It's going to force Classic into an ultra late transition, which is going to be the double Stargate.
And now this is a real Warp Prism, guys. He can actually warp in units with that. It's not the mind game that we saw earlier, so if he can get some Zealots in the main, that could be huge. The mech army will struggle to get back there in time. Classic bringing all his forces together to hit this base over here. Big storms go down. Tanks are falling. There is another layer behind that on the high ground. So Classic gonna have to pause here for a moment, but he does cancel a CC. Maru defending for his life right now, but doing a very good job. Love those 3 turrets there to deny that War Prism.
Yeah, that's very nice placement from Maru. We'll be able to kill that off, and that's going to alleviate a lot of pressure that he was probably feeling in that moment. He did get a nice defense on the left-hand side and the 6 siege up as well. Classic not prepared for that and actually loses a large majority of his army, but now the Zealots coming in over on the right-hand side as well. Going to try to kill as many SCVs as possible, but a nice reaction from Maru. Keeps those safe. but still on the left-hand side, these tanks did not get moved. So these are continually shelling this army, but the storms continue to rain down on the Cyclone Hellbat. These trades just keep going back and forth.
And Classic adding another Stargate here, Gemini, is your favorite thing. 2 Warp Prisms on the way. Oh
Whoa.
my god, so many bases.
Oh, I love that.
92 probes. He is going full macro toss here. He's going to probably try and make that Sky Toss transition at some point. When do you do it is the question. You do have that little vulnerable period before you get a critical mass of those air units. But he's buying himself a lot of time by being active on the map. Letting him take that top left base, which might normally be the Terrans. He's also got this 5 o'clock base. Look at me go with the clock numbers. Got this 5 o'clock base down there as well. His macro is really good. Huge economy. He's got to be careful, though. He has been losing quite a few units here and there.
Yeah, you got to be very careful going up onto these ramps. These high ground positions are very difficult to get into. The double War Prism was interesting. I think he's doing that simply to make it so that way one of them is like just it looks like he's gonna just tank the front one, and then the second one will be allowed to get in. So it's literally just a fodder prism at this point to try and get the warp in the main. Curious if see why he didn't go for a Robo Bay to get the Prism speed, because at this point in the game, this is actually very good to have. But now you can see this is working out perfectly. The first one tanks so many of the shots, so that way they can guarantee at least one of them getting in. And now we can get a 2 Zealot warping because Classic's actually maxed. So a bit anticlimactic on that
He's
warp
going to
in.
warp in so much stuff. 2 Zealots, Bill and Bob warp in. They're like, hey guys, what's up? They're like, we can't do much. Oh my god, so many siege tanks here. The court though, huge pickoff for Classic. His immortal count is actually pretty big right now, doing so much damage to these tanks. Going to drop the Hellbats on the army. I love that move. That tech lab going to go down on the starport. No more Banshees will be able to be made for a moment. There's 1 red HP Banshee on cleanup duty here. There's actually not any workers left in the main right now. Maru has them at other bases. And yeah, I mean, 3 carriers are being made at a time right now. Does Maru know about it?
Yeah, that's going to be the next question, because that fight from him was actually very good. He was able to get the the Hellbats loaded up into the medevacs, boost them onto the army, and while it looked like Classic was going to take a nice engagement, he was able to swing it nicely at the end. But the problem is that he doesn't seem to yet identify that this carrier transition is actually happening, because he's still spamming out Hellbats, spamming out Cyclones. Cyclones still could be pretty good against the carriers if they can get close enough, but that's the problem. Can you actually get them in range of the carriers? And will they be able to DPS them down quick enough is the question. Nice storms going off on this main army here, but this army continues to be so large from Maru, as the rest of it from Classic seems pretty split up, as the 2 carriers do make their names shown, and they need to target down these Cyclones so that way the tanks can just get absolutely killed off.
Yeah, the anti-air here is lacking for Maru. Immediately fired up a Thor. Literally within like half a second, he fired up the Thor production so quick. On the adaption there, going to adjust his army composition. He is able to make 3 at a time. That is what you need.
Oh my god.
This is disgusting. These siege tanks just trying to run away, getting tickled to death by those interceptors. He doesn't have like a large number of starports, so he can't go for mass Vikings or anything like that. Gonna be relying on the Thors here as the anti-air, but can he get out enough to make this happen is the question.
I don't think so, man. Look at this stuff on the side as well. The Zealots killing off more SCVs. The army size is going to be greatly lowered now that all these tanks have finally gotten killed off. 2 random tanks coming in to deal some amount of harass, but again, Zealot Warbins will be totally fine to deal with that. They can't shoot what's right on top of them, so that's going to be dealt with nice and easily. Classic sitting at a beautiful 200 supply, 95 probes as well is ridiculous, so his economy is just amazing at this point. I honestly would love it actually if he would just get the gases now, because he's actually not got too much of that in the bank. He's got plenty of minerals, but not too much gases. He's now needing that, I think, to go into the full-on late-game Sky Toss transition. But for now, yeah, Classic is in full control. The tempo is in his favor. The tech is in his favor. Maru needs to find a way back.
Absolutely. I like what you said about adding on the gases there. At the 9 o'clock and the 11 o'clock base, that would be really good.
Look at you and your numbers.
I'm just on a roll with this now. I know the clock. I learned that when I was younger. I know it. Got that in the bank. And Classic has a lot of minerals in the bank as well. Gonna be, he just has a huge Sky Toss force coming out here. Maru frantically trying to make Thors, trying to get as much anti-air, but there's only 4 Thors on the field.
That's a tongue twister.
4
Try
Thors
saying
on
that
the field
5
right
times
now.
fast.
It's just not enough. The carriers fly in here. Classic's army is huge. Going to take out all these siege tanks. The only threat is the Thors. but he does have Immortals to deal with those. And, ooh, okay, hang on a minute. I thought that he was just going to die there, but Maru making a pretty good defense, actually.
Thors are surprisingly good against carriers. That's why he went for them, of course, because they are actually very good. They have crazy range against the carriers, and the carriers do not DPS them down very quickly at all, actually. You need to have a lot of them to really just kind of kill them off nice and quickly. So still, actually able to put up a fight is Maru, despite the fact that his supply overall is less. That's mostly just the SCVs. His army is still pretty large. He was able to get a good number of Thors out. Classic gave him a little bit more breathing room, and so these Thors are going to be the linchpin of the army at this point. But now it's also kind of up to Classic to realize this and potentially also switch it back into ground once we get a remax situation. Because if you just delete most of the threatening ground army, a big Mortal and Zealot swell is going to just eliminate all those Thors.
Absolutely. I think Classic is up to 8 bases right now. 86 workers, so he will be able to remake a huge army. Like you said, big Zealot Warpins would be huge. Gonna try a little run by here. Maru's army is in position, so he takes that out. Maru's only sitting on 5 bases right now, and he's only just taken that 5th, so he's actually 3 bases down. I feel like he's gonna have one shot here to take an amazing fight without losing too much, and that's gonna be the key for him to get back in this game here. It's gonna be very tough, though.
Yeah, I do like this, that Classic continues to just split up as many units as possible, even just a few Zealots going over here with some Stalkers, able to kill off those tanks. Any tank that you can kill is going to be very valuable at this point. Storms going off on the meching units as well, and now the Thors are going to try to go against those carriers, but it's still a little bit difficult as Classic to just walk right into that. You don't want to just go into any more tanks there. 18 more SCVs in total. Looks like there was a Storm on the top left side as well, so that's very nice. But yeah, Classic continuing this pressure, doesn't want to let up.
And as you mentioned, Classic will now switch back into the ground army. He says, okay, you've made 20 Thors. You know what's good against that? 20 Immortals and a bunch of Zealots. So that is what he's going to do now. Try to alter his composition. Kind of like late game Zerg, right? Like, oh, I'm making Broodlords and I'm remaxing on Ultralisk. Oh, the Mothership recall.
Oh, it's sick! I love this so much. The warp or the Mothership coming on in. It would be so sick if we had a Warp Prism as well to be able to warp in on top. But just having this at all, this was not expected from Maru at all. Look at him scrambling to find his way back into his own main base. The production getting completely wiped here from Classic. This is an excellent move.
Yeah, this is huge damage. How do you ever get up that ramp? Even a little hit squad of 2 carriers and a couple Zealots going to that other base. Maru can't make anything right now. Everything that comes out instantly dies to this Protoss army in the main. Maru on the ropes right now, going to try and pick off the carriers from a distance, but he is in so much trouble here. Even going to try and get that CC. I think he might repair it in time, not sure. But yeah, his whole main base is gone here, Gemini.
This is just incredible. And he can just recall back out because he's got his Nexus recall on cooldown as well. There he goes. See ya.
Disgusting.
Nice to have the little play date in the main base. I'm done. My mom's called up. Dinner's ready. See you later. Classic with a 3-0, punching Maru into the loser's bracket.
What a game from Classic. Absolutely just beautiful play. The killer move at the end there to bring everything to the main base.
That's so
Thors
badass.
are so big. Like, how do you get all those chunky Thors up the ramp to even take that fight? Is so difficult. Beautiful play there by Classic.
I love it, man. Seeing anytime you get to see a Mothership recall, just the full-on send into the main base, it's such a cool moment.
It's like a cinematic moment from the
no,
trailer.
seriously. Like, you just don't really see those in games very often. The fact that he goes for it is just the killer move. I didn't even see the Mothership on the production tab that whole time either. So that, like, totally caught me off guard. That's like the Brood War games where it's like there's no production tab, so suddenly a million Ultras just come out of nowhere and defend, and it's like, oh my god, that's so sick. I literally had no idea there was a Mothership, and then I just suddenly see it walking out. I was like, oh my god, that is the sickest thing. I absolutely love seeing that. So no, that was just awesome by Classic. That warms my Protoss heart.
Christmas came early here for Gemini, and Classic goes early into that winners final. He will be meeting Zoun there. We'll have a PvP to decide who goes into grand finals. Maru falls down. Oh, Gemini, Maru, Reina will be meeting in losers quarters A. And on the other side, we have a TVP, Cure going up against Trigger. I think Trigger showed some very strong PPT in this tournament already. That will be a good series as well.
Dude, that's actually so wild for Raynor. Season 1, again, exactly the same story. Wins the first match, loses the first match, wins the 3-0 in the lower bracket first match, and then plays against Clem in the next match. This time, same exact thing. What's he going up against this time? Maru. Like, oh my god, that is just a brutal couple of matches to go back-to-back in different seasons. So, yeah, Rainer's going to have to bring it on that match specifically, but he did do pretty well against him overall, I would say, from EWC, so it's going to be close for sure.
That series was really close.
Yeah.
That Game 5 was epic. Was it Game 5? I think the Game 5 was amazing.
No, yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. So definitely going to be a highlight match that day for sure.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see that one. As a Zerg, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. We are going to have a break here, guys. It is Sunday the 14th. All wrapped up here with the upper bracket semis. We now have 3 days off, and we will return on Thursday the 18th. And then it's going to be 4 days in a row of the RSL action-packed, round out this bracket, and crown our champion here for Season 2.
Yep, it's going to be super sick. Very excited to see who ends up actually winning the second season and clinching an invite to our offline finals, which will be happening in December later this year. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have one person from each of the seasons, with our third season also coming up here shortly as well. Auto invited to that. More details to be coming about how exactly all the formatting and everything and all the dates and everything. Of course, we're still scouting everything out and just getting the final details all set up. But you will be able to come visit here, Korea, and watch all these super sick pros duke it out in person. Listen to us talk in person in English. Normally when you come to Korea, you watch StarCraft. What's happening? It's Castor Park screaming in Korean in your ear, and you have to wear that little tiny annoying headset with the radio or whatever to listen to Tastosis. Not anymore. You get to listen to us. We're blaring out on the speakers live. You don't have to worry about that.
We're bringing it back to the arenas, back to the theaters. I think Tasteless has been checking out venues this week, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have some more details coming your way for that offline finals. That is going to be super sick, as Gemini would say, guys. Cannot wait for it.
It's my favorite phrase today. I don't know why.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, big thank you to our official partner for the RSL Revival, Archon Studio. They are putting out some excellent tabletop miniature games, plenty of different games that they've put out, and the StarCraft one is going to be ready for pre-sale later this year as well. You do want to pick this up. It looks absolutely incredible already. They put out a couple videos, I think, showing kind of the first previews of what some of the models look like of the little minifigures, and they look excellent. Like, they look so super sick. I'm very excited to see. Dude, it keeps slipping out. I don't know why. I'm literally not even doing it on purpose at this point. I don't know why. I need
Just
to
own it, man.
I need to eliminate these two words from my brain at this point. But yeah, please check out Archon Studio. We love to have them here supporting us on the RSL. And we would love to have you support us and join the RSL army on Patreon, as Tasteless loves to say.
At patreon.com/ReviveSC2.
Join us.
Join us now. So many have joined recently. We just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who signed up in the last few days. We really appreciate you guys. Awesome support coming out from the community. You guys are keeping StarCraft 2 going here at the RSL. Yeah, thank you guys so much. And please consider checking out the website.
Oh, yeah. And check out that merch. Get a hoodie. Winter's coming up. It's already starting to get a little bit cooler over here in Korea. It's still a little bit too hot, I would say, for the hoodie just yet, but it's getting there very soon. That's the seasons are changing. I'm very excited to get the cool weather, and I would love it if we can, get to the offline finals and we just see a sea of RSL hoodies, RSL shirts.
It's like Viva Vendetta with the masks, but instead of that, it's just RSL hoodies, a sea of them, just everywhere.
A bunch of pins on everyone's shirt as well. Everyone's drinking beer out of their RSL mugs in the audience.
Ooh, beer at the event. Is that what you're going for?
Oh, man, yeah, why not?
This is Korea.
It's
Anything
an arena.
is possible, guys. Yeah. Let's get a baseball stadium.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Speaking of stadiums, check out the YouTube. That doesn't make any sense.
Unknown stadium.
Yeah, YouTube.com.
A stadium for watching things on the internet. Sure.
This is a virtual stadium, guys. You can watch all your favorite games spoiler-free at the RSL YouTube. YouTube.com/revive at ReviveSC2. You can check out all the VODs there. If you do miss a day, they will all be waiting for you, spoiler-free. This is how a lot of people consume their content these days, so please check it out and help us grow the YouTube.
Yeah, so leave a comment there if you are listening to this. Tell me what your favorite StarCraft unit is. I don't know, just say something. say hi. Tell me your favorite color.
If you were a color, what color would you be?
Yeah. What's your favorite animal? Do you like mint chocolate things? It's a very common topic in Korea.
That is a very big debate in Korea.
Yeah,
if mint chocolate is good or not.
My students ask me this almost every day, even though I've told them so many times. And then the next day, they're just like, teacher, mint chocolate. Do you like it? I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, disgusting.
So you do like it?
I do, actually, yes. It is, yeah.
I like it too.
Whoa, it's so crazy. It's an opinion of food. Whoa.
Oh, it's a very common ice cream flavor.
Yeah.
So out there.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us here for our upper bracket semis. It's been an absolute blast. Some great games, of course. And yeah, we'll be back in just a couple of days with the lower bracket as well. So please stay tuned for that. It's been great to have you. We'll see you then. Have a great afternoon, night, day, whatever it is. We'll see you later.